and there's deterioration in the front door. That can either be properly repaired or possibly replaced. This outlet cover to the right of the porch is loose. That needs to be resecured. That's also a GFC outlet, and it's not tripping. It should trip when you test it, so that would need to be repaired or replaced. At this recessed area, you got to keep your grading down below that the wood trim, because you know that can create a wood destroying insect problem. Really, you know, like very minor deterioration right here in this fascia, where it meets what they call the bird box, this triangular part. So you want to get that fixed so it doesn't get worse. Handrail requirements have changed a little bit over the years. They weren't requiring a handrail when this house was built, but for a good while now, anything more than 3 steps tall is supposed to have a handrail for preventing a trip hazard. If it's more than 30 inches tall, you know, you should have a handrail with guards to keep kids from falling off of them. Window AC unit, that is generally a red flag for saying that the bonus room has not been as comfortable as, because this will be controlled by the thermostat in the upstairs, but it's completely separate from the upstairs. So
there's vents in there, so you don't think the airs run through that? Or they were saying that maybe just because it's over the garage it's hot, but I was like, I don't.
Well,
there's vents that should
it's
be
controlled by the thermostat in the upstairs, but it's completely separate from that.
Got it.
So when the upstairs satisfies that thermostat, it's going to turn off.
Yes.
Bonus rooms tend to stay a little bit hotter than the rest of the house because you've got attic space all the way around them. Now there is a potential. This is like a boost fan or an assist fan to increase airflow into the bonus room. You know, it could have just stopped working possibly. Like that AC is on and it's not running. So you're, you know, it could. Bonus rooms are notorious for being hard to regulate, to keep at a comfortable temperature, you know, especially in this case when the thermostat's completely separate from the bonus room. If that's not working, it could be that fixing that could take care of the problem. It may or may not. That's something you would need to get a heat and air guy to do their flow and air volume, all those, you know, tests that they run on that. But, you know, what I'll say in the report is window AC is an indication that there's been a comfort issue in that room. That's why they added it. Yellow flexible gas line is called CSST, corrugated stainless steel tubing. The manufacturer had not yet started requiring this as part of their installation instructions, but it has become widely known as an issue within the last, you know, several years that should be addressed. Well, it should be bonded to ground. All that is that you would put a clamp on either the iron pipe or the CSST pipe, and you can either bond it to ground at the panel, or usually we should find, okay, here's a bonding wire right here. No, it's not. They've got that tied into the water line.
How much does that usually cost, do you think?
Yeah, probably depending on, you know, how much trouble it is for them to do.
They'd have to like concrete, like dig into the ground.
No, no. It's not that bad. I wouldn't say. I would just guess anywhere from $100 to $200.
Oh, okay. And do you know how old the water heater is? Like, is that something we need to plan on
This one
replacing
I'm
in
gonna
the
have to
years?
look up. But Bradford White has a, like it's XM. Most water heaters have numbers that I can look at and instantly tell you what it is. But I have to look up what X is.
Okay.
But just by looking at it, I would say it's probably, with average service life is 8 to 12 years. It's probably somewhere between 8 and 12 years old. In that case, I'd tell you, you know, you might get a few more years out of it, and you might not. That's just how it is once they get up into that age range. This gutter has some debris in it right there where the downspout is.
Yep.
That's prevented it from draining, so water's been overflowing the gutter and landing right there.
That's an easy fix.
That exhaust termination for your kitchen exhaust,
Yeah.
it's turned around backwards. The open side is facing up.
Yeah.
It should be facing down because melting snow and ice or hard rains just splattering off the roof can get into that.
Okay.
So that's it just needs to be turned around. Open side should be down.
Yeah.
Roof railings.
Yeah. How does the deck looks like it's probably easier placed. That's something we would do.
All the railings are loose, you know, all the way around it.
Okay.
The floor joists are not supported at the ledger band by a 2x2 ledger strip or joist hangers. So the easiest thing to do is install joist hangers on those. And if you're planning on redoing the deck, then there's really no sense in doing all that. But that's what will be in the report. And the ledger band should also be bolted to the house. 1/2-inch bolts about every 3 feet. The door back here, just maintenance. You know, it's very important to keep the painting. You want to keep this caulk down here and keep it painted, and that'll prevent deterioration. See, all these are loose. Overall, the roof looks good. You know, it appears to have several years of service life remaining. The cap, the chimney chase cap, you know, it's starting to rust, so it should be sanded and painted, you know, also to prolong its service life. These were temporary supports that they were there for the deck building process. They should have been removed once those steel posts got installed. Blue spindle right there. Over here, the crawl space access door obviously is damaged. You've got a low spot right here in the grating. So it's been holding water. Also, you know, it's going to be difficult for water to get away from this AC pad. It looks like a lot of this water, including what's coming from the condensate, is able to kind of possibly run into the crawl space.
How old do you think these AC units?
I don't have it in the report, but they are 2002, so 14 years. You know, average service life 15 to 20 years, so you know you're going to have in your mind that these are going to need to be replaced in the upcoming future. American Standards are real good units. I'll see them sometimes 20, 25 years old, but you've just got to keep in mind 15 is the average, and that way start saving up for it. Every year you get out of them is, you know, a bonus.
Awesome. Yeah, because you can tell it's like slopes down into.
Yeah, the grade is a little bit higher all the way around the pad. I mean, it's lower right here, but the best that it's doing is getting over here to the crawl space access.
And they said there was leaking in the crawl space that they're putting a sub pump in.
On the drive, something I was just looking at, and I don't consider it to be a major issue at all because it's not going to have any direct effect on the home. But you can see it probably with as much rain as we had in the past week. See where water stood a little bit right here? I mean, if that's an issue, super easy fix. All somebody needs to do is take a shovel or a pick and just kind of skim off the top of this so it can drain into the backyard. See how it's higher than the concrete?
Yep.
So it's naturally going to want to hold water right there. On a home this age, all homes this age, it's going to have a 1.5-inch washing machine drain line. The code changed in 1990. Then they went up to a 2-inch drain line. So all of your homes built prior to that are going to have a 1.5-inch. Some of your modern washing machines pump out water at a rate greater than 1.5 inch drain line can keep up with. That's just something you would check with your washing machine manufacturer. Ask if it's compatible with the 1.5 inch drain. You could
Okay.
probably Google your make and model and find that out, or call the manufacturer. But it's something you'd want to find out prior to hooking it up and using it, and end up having it back out, you know,
Okay.
back up out to the end
Good
of
to
it.
know.
Okay, this is in the attic. This is that bathroom exhaust fan housing.
Hmm.
This wiring is supposed to go into the knockout. Your wiring junctions, all of this should be, you're supposed to have a bushing installed in the knockout. The bushing is supposed to secure the wiring by this sheathing. You shouldn't have the sheathing stop and then the wiring itself going into the housing. And these are just modeled off of the unit in the attic. That's your attic access panel. You just want to put insulation over that for energy efficiency. This is your condensate drain line from the AC unit in the attic. It is connected directly into your vent stack. You're really not supposed to have a direct connection into your home's drain, waste, and vent system, because there's a potential for sewer gases to come in through the drain pipe and, you know, get crossed in with your HVAC system. But this does what it's really supposed to be done is doing what's called an indirect trapped receptor. On this particular setup, with it being an AC unit and, you know, separate forced air heat system, it's not a huge, I don't think you would have any issues with it. But it's one of those things that, say when you go to sell a house, another inspector would probably say the same thing, and he wouldn't be wrong in saying that. But then, so I'm going to say it should be done through an indirect trapped receptor. I would recommend going ahead and having that fixed, but there's not any urgency to it. You know, it's not in this particular instance. I would doubt that you will have issues with it, but there is a potential for it, so it goes in the report. There's a wiring junction not too far from the attic access. That wiring junctions are supposed to be inside a covered junction box. This is a junction box that should have a cover on it. This is your thermostat control wiring. It's okay to be junction like that with tape around it. That's a low voltage wiring. No issues with that. Just make sure that somebody doesn't get confused and say the wiring junction that I said needs to be in a junction box. I'm not talking about this, and make sure they understand that we are talking about that one, not the control wiring. Smoke detector, any detector more than 10 years old really should be replaced. Nor post to the top of the steps loose. And all of this is stuff that we have already gone over.
But most of the wiring looks like up to
Yeah.
date. And
Yeah, I mean, the majority of the wiring looks fine with the exception of those
Those,
couple of things
okay.
that I've got. So right now I'm going to start upstairs and I'll begin working my way, you know, through the rest of the house.
Okay.
And then we'll get together again, kind of like what we just did, and go over the other things.
Awesome. Thank you.